We're on to round number 56, and I thought I'd just show you how this corner is going to look, because I did the whole corner to start, just to start the ball rolling, to show you that we're going to begin in our last chain one space from our previous round number 55. Okay, so this is how our corner is going to look. So I'm quite happy with the way it turned out, because I was trying to get that little shape there and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but I'm happy to see that it has worked out. And then you can see how we've kind of caught up the back there. Okay, so all right, now let's begin. So I've already gone and worked my one side, so now I can do the corner with you. Right, so now we're going to begin in that chain one space. So it's the last chain one space of the round. You're just going to work 2 double crochets. So you begin with your chain 3 or your standing double crochet, whichever is easier for you. Then we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to work a treble front post over our next 3 trebles together from round number 52. Then we're going to chain 2. Now this time we're working 3 trebles together into our chain 2 space, but also into our chain 4 space from the previous round. So we're working into round 52 and round 55. And we're working 3 trebles together. Close, chain 2. Now we're going to work a treble front post. Oopsie, just be careful you don't catch up those chains at the back. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. Then we go into this chain 2 space. We're working 3 trebles together, but only into the chain 2 space. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Close. And this time we don't make a chain 2. We yarn over through twice and we work a treble front post. Right? I think that's correct. Oh no, sorry, we do make a chain 2. I beg your pardon, we do make a chain 2. I was just checking my notes. Right, then we do a treble front post. We don't make another chain 2 after our treble front post. We just immediately work 3 trebles together. Okay, so it gets a bit tricky when you've got quite a lot going on. Right, close, chain 2. So that chain 2 is the next small corner. And now basically you're just going to mirror what you did on side A, big corner. That's how I've written it in the pattern. So you're just going to repeat everything, but now we're going backwards. But of course I'm going to do this with you. So we work another 3 trebles together into that corner chain 2 space. Okay, then we work a treble front post. So remember, you're not doing a chain 2 there. Then you do a chain 2. Then into the next chain 2 space, we work 3 trebles together. Okay, and chain 2. We work treble front post over the next 3 trebles together. Chain 2. And now we work 3 trebles together over our chain 2 space and our last chain 4 space. Right? So we're going to go in there, 1, 2, and again 1, 2, and then 1, 2, going to close. We're going to chain 2, yarn over twice, 1 treble front post, right, and then 2 double crochets into our next chain 1 space and 2 double crochets into all of the chain 1 spaces, right, and then you're going to repeat the corners and you will repeat all. Okay, there we go. So now it looks a little bit like a dog's breakfast. You just open it up like that and it should all sit nicely. Now I had to do that 2 double crochets together over there, otherwise way back when we were doing that that row, because otherwise we would have had that chain space. All right, so that was to cover up that chain space all the way back then. So you see, that's how people who design, you have to think ahead. You have to think ahead, all the little details, and you think, oh, if I want to do that, how's that going to work? How should I have? So sometimes there's quite a bit of frogging going on. All right, and then as you can see, I haven't actually. So as I said, that's what your back's going to look like. Okay, and your front and your sides. Okay, so you just go ahead and I'm just wondering to myself why I didn't write down the final stitch count for this, but we can. I wrote out the corner, everything for the corner, but then I didn't do, so we're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 67. So we're going to have 67 times 2 double crochets. And of course, you're not working a chain 1 in between, you're just working 2 double crochets. Okay, so round number 56, and obviously to finish off, you're just going to slip stitch into your second double crochet and fasten off. And I shall see you at round number 57. So we're on to round number 57. And round number 57, so you just ignore what I've done there because I've gone all the way around. So now, but I haven't completed a full corner, so I can't show you how the full corner is going to look. But what we're going to do is we're going to begin in this chain 2 corner space from our previous round. We're going to work 3 trebles together, right? So we're going to close chain 2, okay, and again, right? So it's 2 times 3 trebles plus a chain 2 in between. So that's our little corner. Right, now we are going to work so we're going to skip this next three trebles together, but before we do that, almost forgot, we're going to chain 2. Then we are going to work, so we're going to skip this next corner 3 trebles together, and then into the next treble front post we're going to make a treble front post. Now those are the only chains we're going to be making, okay? It's basically those 3 chains. But I mean, this is now, you know, the other side. You're not going to see that. You're only going to see that when you finish, or when you finish the next corner. So now we have 1 treble front post. Now into the next 2 spaces, either side of our next 3 trebles together, we're going to work 3 trebles together. Okay. We're not going to do a chain 2 or anything like that. So you're just going to skip this one and work into the next space. Right, close. And then we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to work a treble front post over our next treble front post, and then we're going to work into the next chain space before our next 3 trebles together. There's those chain 2 spaces, and we're going to work 3 trebles together. We're going to skip that 3 trebles together from the previous round, and we're going to work 3 trebles together. We're going to close, yarn over times 2, and then we're going to finish off with another treble front post. So I'm just going to stop there for the moment. Okay, so that is your corner, right, like that. So you're going to have 10. So I'm now including, for the stitch count, I'm including the little corner. This is the big corner, and then that's the little corner. So now we are going to have 10 3 trebles together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to have 6 treble front posts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to have 3 chain 2 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Okie dokie. Now that we have sorted that out, so it's going to look like so. Right. Now, to continue with the sides, sorry, just trying to find a way to keep everything on the table instead of everything sliding off. There we go. Now, we're going to skip the first double crochet. So we're going to skip that double crochet, this one over here, and we're going to work a single crochet over all the stitches except for the last one. So we're skipping the first double crochet and we're skipping the last double crochet, and then you'll repeat your corner and then repeat all, and so on and so forth. So easy peasy. So I'm going to meet you at the end of this side, and then, although actually I don't really have to, because I think I will. I'm going to meet you at the end of this side when I've finished all these single crochet front posts, and then we can do a complete corner together. And that's really just, if you're good with this, that's fine, you just carry on. But I'm going to do that for just for extra clarity for our ladies who don't speak English. Okay, so I'm going to see you guys at the end of this side. So we have worked 132. I'm terrible at counting stitches. I always get my stitches. Yeah. So I'm just sorry. I'm just trying to get myself untangled here because she kind of went on a little bit. All right. So now, and I haven't worked in any. There we go. Hello. All right. So you will have worked. So now, okay, let me explain my stitch count to you because I need to explain it to myself as well. So in this round over here, which is round number 56, we had 67 times 2 double crochets. So 67 times 2 double crochets is 134 2 double crochets. Okay, are you with me now? Am I correct? I can hear the mathematicians going, yes, come on now, just hurry up. All right, so now, we had, okay, let me start again. So we had 67 times 2 double crochets. And then when we worked our single crochet front posts, we skipped 2 stitches, right? So then we have 66. So we have 2 times 66. You can tell it's getting to the end of the day. It's right. So because we have 66, we worked into 66 times 2 double crochets. Okay, we have 132 single crochet front posts. All right, woohoo! I need to, those little firework displays. All right, so we should have 132 single crochet front posts, right? Because we worked into 2 less stitches. Fine. I think I'm explaining this all to myself. Right. And then, as I said before, so your corner is going to equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 3 trebles together. You're going to have 6 treble front posts, and you're going to have 3 chain 2 spaces. Ta-da! And now to fasten off, you're just going to slip stitch into your first single crochet front post. I know it's a very tiny little stitch, but anyway, so you're going to slip stitch into that. Right, now my great plan, after I decided that I'm not going to do the squares, because I could see a lot of people were just like, oh no, not squares. And I kind of agree, it would have been a lot of squares. But the alternative is not so much better because it's also quite a lot of repetition. But what we're going to be doing is we are going to be working 16 of these 5 double crochets with a chain 6. Okay, so now we've got some not strange, but we have a stitch count that doesn't quite match up, because the way that I want to do this means that I'm going to, because I want an even number, so I want 16 of these, right? I'm left with one extra set of stitches, right? So now you're probably thinking, what set of stitches is she talking about? Well, the way that I'm spacing this now is I'm counting the stitches, the 67 sets of 2 double crochets, right? From our round number 56. And I want to be working into the spaces between those stitches. So I'm not counting those single crochet front posts. Right. Now, because I've got an uneven number there, I'm going to start. So I'm going to count, and this also just makes it much easier to do. Okay, I don't want to be counting teeny weeny little stitches. I want like things that are in my face and easy to see. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, and then there's a space between the 2 double crochets, right? And that's where I'm going to place my stitch marker. Okay, now you're going to count 4 spaces. 4 times 2 double crochets. I'm just calling them spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll put your stitch marker into, you don't have to put a stitch marker, you just, if you can count, but when I'm working out stitches, actually put the stitch markers in. Right, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to go, so you're working into placing your stitch marker in that space between 2 times 2 double crochets. So there's your two double crochets, 2 double crochets, and you're placing it into that joining space. And now you're going to go all the way along, except when you get to your end over here, guess what? You're going to have, instead of three, you're going to have 4 left over. So now you can, so it's really just a little bit of an optical illusion. Right, so that's where your last stitch marker is going to go, and you're going to end up with 4. So what you could do is to give the illusion of there being 3 stitches here, and no one's going to notice it, believe me. You can work into the space between, right, between the 2 double crochets. All right. So it's going to give the illusion that there's 3 stitches, because you're working into that space between the next 2 double crochets after that space. All right, so it's not as clearly defined as if you were working your 6 double crochets into that space rather than that space. It's just a little trick, it's just a little, if you can hear screaming in the background, I need a medal. I need a medal to, because of what I've been having to deal with over the last many weeks with neighbors, and we have complained, we have asked them nicely, we've gone on bended knees and said, please, 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 could you keep your children just a little bit quieter? We understand everyone is, struggling and so on and so forth, especially people with kids at home, but there are other people in the road who've got children and their children are not behaving like that and blah, 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 but they don't care. And so we suffer. Anyway, if you can hear the screaming in the background, it's got nothing to do with me. It's 2 houses up. Okay, lockdown, hashtag lockdown challenges, right. Okay, so now you can, and you can also work you can work your first 6 double crochets into the space between the first of your 4, where you're counting like that. You can work, it's really just, it's up to you, but it's just to create that optical illusion that you do have 3 on this side left over and 3 on that side left over. It's not a big train smash. Now what you're going to be doing is this. All right, so you're just going to be working 6. So you're going to be working 6 double crochets into those spaces that you've marked off, right, with your stitch markers. So now I'm just going to do this, the last one with you, where I'm going to work. So I've chained 6, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and instead of working into the next space, I'm just working between those the next 2 double crochets. Right, and then you're just going to fasten off. So each time you're just going to make one side, and you should have 16 times 5 double crochets. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll have 15 chain 6 spaces. Right here. Now, so I'm not going to start this with you because this is simple enough. You're going to mark off your spaces, and then you're going to work your 6 double crochets with your chain 6 in between. You can increase your chain. You can increase your chain by 1 or 2 if you feel, but I feel 6 is fine for me. Don't go overboard. Only if your tension is super, super tight. Then for our next round, which is, okay, so our next round is round, now actually went back because I wanted to see, so 58, so 59. So round number 59. So this is round number 58, right? So that's the sunshine. Oh, this, and the color is sunshine, of course, because we've used this before. And then round number 59, we are moving to, so you can see what I'm doing, all right? I'm doing the daisies, like, you know, we're doing kind of a repeat of the daisies from the block. I want you to pick up those daisies from the block. All right. And what we're going to do, so I wanted to show you this, but I haven't done the other side. So I'm just going to frog this. You know, I don't mind frogging. I frog a lot when I'm busy designing. I frog and frog and frog, and sometimes I can't find a solution, and then I just make a plan. Like with this, with the stitches, okay? I don't just do it lightly. So you can see where we've started here. I started in the space, but you can start between the two double crochets, and you don't attach it to anything. You just carry on like that and then fasten off when you have your 16 5 double crochets. Now, to begin our next round, round number 59, we're going to start between our last treble front post, all right, from that big corner from round number 57. Right, round number 57. No, not round number 57. Yes, round number 57. Round number 57. Right. So we're going to start in that space there. So this is that skipped double crochet, and this is the double crochet where we work that first single crochet front post, right? So we're just going to make a puff, and I'm going to use my little puffs, 1, 2, 3, but you can make bigger ones if you want, right? Let's pull that like that, and then we're going to work our trebles, so our 3 trebles together with a chain 2 space in between. So I'll just do this one section and then you can carry on. So I've got squeaky yarn because it's suddenly very, very warm. So we closed our 3 trebles together, chain 2, yarn over twice, and again. Close, chain 2. Okay. Close, chain 2, and again. Whoopsie, don't do that. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, close. Now we're going to work a puff. So now we have those sections of 4, so it's easy from here. So you're going to skip 2 times 2 double crochets and into the space before your next 2 times 2 double crochets. So just make sure you're not going over both those rows. You're just working between the single crochet front posts. I'm going to make another puff. And then continue. So you're just working into those 4 spaces between the 5 double crochets. And so on and so forth. 1, 2, right, I'll just do one more. Right, just Great. 1 and again. I keep on thinking about the lady who said use wax to wax your crochet needle. And I haven't really done that because, you know, it is autumn here, but we still have, like today, it's 25 outside. That's Celsius, and it's actually really humid and really warm. Okay, so we close that. Y'all know that. And again, we just skip 1. So we skip 1, 2, and into the space between the single crochet front posts. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. But you can make your puff bigger if you want, as I said. Okay, and then you're just going to continue along like that. Okay, and I shall see you at the end of, sorry, I keep on like going off, I'm like drifting all over the place. All right, so you're going to have 16 times 4 times 3 trebles together, and then obviously you have 3 chain 2 spaces between, so you'll have 16 times 3 chain 2 spaces, and then you are going to have I didn't write down the stitch count for this, but anyway, so you can count. I'll tell you when we get to the end of the row. And then of course, obviously in the written pattern, it is there. Okay, so I shall see you at the end of this side, and then we'll go on to round number 60. We're on to round number 60. Now I'm going to show you round number 60. So before we go on to round number 60, I'll just show you what we're going to be doing. So let me get to, well, I can't show you the full corner. Did I do a full? No, I didn't do a full corner. Right. Okay, so I'm just tucking in all my ends. Right, so this is obviously half a corner. Right, like that. So we're going to start with 3 trebles together, chain 2, 3 trebles together, chain 2, and then we're going to work a treble front post over our treble front post, chain 2, and then work a treble front post over the same treble front post, chain 2, 3 trebles into the space between our previous 2 times 3 trebles, chain 2, and then we're going to do here exactly what we did there. We're going to chain 2, we're going to make another 3 trebles together between our next 2 times 3 trebles together, chain 2, and then we're going to work another treble front post, and then a treble front post and a treble together that you'll see, and there's a chain 2 in between, and then we just go, so we're going to do that. Okay, so we're working like that. That's why I was saying don't fret too much about this sort of stitch discrepancy here, because it's not really noticeable when we, you know, do all this. Okay, I'll show you on the other side so you can see what I mean. Okay, right. So to the eye, it looks as though our stitch count is exact, and then you don't pick up on that, you know, the fact that we've worked an even amount of sets into uneven amount of stitches. Right, so now I've done half of the corner and I've done my chain 2, so I've worked up this side, so don't worry about that, because I'm going to show you how to start, and then when we get to the other corner I'll work the whole corner with you, just as a double check, just so you can double check yourself. Okay, so now we're going to begin in our chain 2 corner space, right? And we're going to work, as we did before, we're going to work 3 trebles together, close, chain 2, so that's our teeny weeny corner, and then again 3 trebles together, right, and close. Okay, then we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to yarn over twice and over, so we're going to skip the next 3 trebles together, and we're working over our treble front post. This is where we're going to work 2 treble front posts. So we're going to work a treble front post, chain 2, and another treble front post. So you can either do it in front or behind, whichever way you are used to doing it. Right, and then chain 2, like that. Then we're going to yarn over twice, and we're working without fail. Every time I start a video, my neighbors open their door, their kitchen door, which is right almost practically, except for a wall outside my workroom. Okay, so we do another 3 trebles together, and we close, and then chain 2. Yarn over twice. Now we're going to skip the next 3 trebles together, and over the next treble front post, we do what we did before. We're going to work treble, chain 2, treble front post. So we're working treble front posts, right? Chain 2. I'm going to stop and show you. So it's going to look like that. Okay. Then, so we've done our chain 2, yarn over twice and into the next space. So we skip that 3 trebles together from the previous round of that same color where we did that corner. 3 trebles together. Now, can't remember if I counted correctly. Close, chain 2, right? Yarn over twice. Now, this is the little tricky part. We're going to work a treble front post over that treble front post. We're going to chain 2, and now we're going to work a treble front post. We're not going to close. We're not going to close that. All right. And then we are going to work a treble front post into the space after our puff. So into that same space. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, ideally speaking, you're working between 2 times 2 double crochets, because that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so but because you've got that there, it's a little bit tricky. So you're working into that space between those 2 double crochets and those 2 double crochets. So now you're working 2 trebles together like so, and close. Then yarn over, and now we're working double crochets. So we're going to work 4 double crochets into our chain 2 space from our previous round. Okay. Then we're going to skip to our next chain 2 space, and we're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. We're going to skip to our next chain 2 space, and we're going to work 4 double crochets. 3, 4. So I'm going to stop there a moment and just show you. So it's going to look like that. Okay. So Oh no. I have to go. I'm going to carry on, but I have to go back because can you see what I did there? I missed. I only did one instead of two. I'm always checking like that because there's nothing more annoying than finishing off a round and then finding a mistake. And you think to yourself, can I repair that or do I have to go all the way back? Okay, so never mind. So what we have here is 4 double crochets into the first chain 2 space, then 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then 4 double crochets. Then we're going to work. So now we're going to be working into the space between our 2 double crochets. Okay, but this time instead of working between as we did with that very first one, the very first one is just kind of an optical illusion, really. Okay, it's just so that your space, all your spaces then look even, as if you have 4 times 2 double crochets. But I did kind of go into a bit of an over explanation the last time. Okay, now yarn over, right, times 2. Then we're going to go into the space between our 2 double crochets, and we're working 2 double crochets together. Then we're going to just skip over to the next one, and we're going to do the same. And then we're going to work them together. Yarn over, and 1. There you go. So that's actually how easy it is. It's really easy. So we do 4 double crochets. I like to explain sometimes the method in my madness because I know sometimes some people will wonder, well, why did she do it that way? So especially with this section, I want you to explain sort of how I went about finding a solution to the challenge of working even stitches into uneven numbers. Working even numbers into uneven numbers. Whoopsie. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. So basically you're working into those 2 sets of 2 double crochets either side of the puff. Like so. 1, 2. And again. 1, 2. And yarn over and 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to stop here, right? Because I think that's pretty much illustrated what we're doing here. Okay, so your corner is going to look like that. Well, it's not going to look like that because I don't want to go any further because I have to now frog everything and then go and make sure that I do my little double treble, my 2 treble front posts instead of just the 1. Okay, so your corner is going to look almost like that. I think it's actually a very pretty corner. Okay, so I'm going to go off and just correct myself, and then I'm going to meet you at the other corner. And just for fun and just as a recap, I'm going to do the whole corner from here all the way around, so we can do that together just in case. All right, so that's where I'll see you. Okay, so like a good little Virgo, I went back and corrected it immediately. I just thought I can't really do the rest of the side unless I fix that. It's just going to bother me. So because I mean it is a sample piece, so you know, it doesn't really worry me if I make small mistakes like that, but for some reason this did. Who knows? Let's blame it on COVID. Okay, so that is how the corner is going to look, and then I'm going to meet you at the other corner so that we can do that together. Okay, so see you there. So we're getting close to the corner, and I did want to just do this section with you. So we're working that second last 2 trebles together like that, right? And then our 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then 2 double crochets. It's a very weird day in Cape Town today. Saturday morning, hot and windy. We're supposed to be approaching winter, and I was fighting mosquitoes last night. Can you believe it? Anyway, what can you do? Now, I don't kill mosquitoes. I just try and chase them away. Okay, and then our last 4 double crochets, 3 and 4. Now yarn over twice. We're going into that space. So whereas we were working into the space between the 2 double crochets, we're working now into that space, which is the joining space between the last double crochet and the next double crochet. All right, just before you get to that little puff. So we're working a treble front post here together. We're working 2 of them, remember? So you're not going to close that. Then you're going to skip over to your treble front post to the left of the puff, close, chain 2, yarn over twice, and work another treble front post, chain 2. Okay, so you got that going on. Okay, and then so we've done our chain 2, then we're skipping the next 3 trebles together, and we're going to work 3 trebles together into the next space, chain 2, yarn over twice, and this is where we do our 2 treble front posts. So there's the 1, chain 2, and the next one, chain 2, yarn over, skip the next 3 trebles together, yarn over twice, not yarn over once, because then that would be a double crochet. Okay, close, chain 2. Let's grab some yarn here. So I think after this I'm going to go and work in all my tails just before we start finishing off this throw. Okay, so I've done my chain 2, yarn over twice, we're working treble front post, chain 2, and another treble front post, chain 2, and we're back at our corner. Right, so I want you to come up do the right side here for you, just in case, because it's a little bit different. This, the sequence of stitches, which stitch comes first, etc., as opposed to when you're doing it on that side. Okay, so I hope that was helpful Right, so that your side's going to look, your right side of your big corner is going to look like that. All right, you don't want it straight, you want. Okay, so I think I can leave you here to finish round number 60, and I shall see you at round number 61. So to finish, you'll just come up the side here and then slip stitch into the top of your first 3 trebles together and fasten off. Okay, I shall see you at round number 61.